Hello, I'm Gillian McPhee and welcome to my garden. We're going to take a tour today and I'm going to show you some of my most favorite things and some of my most favorite plants. So we're going to start the tour on my front step, and the thing that I really love about this entrance is all of these beautiful white flowers. They're so pretty during the day, and when the night comes in and the sun goes down, they glow in the evening and just fill the yard with enchantment. So the Astilbes right here are just beautiful, and they work so nicely in a bouquet and as a cut flower. Also these hydrangeas. As we continue through the yard, you're going to see quite a few hydrangeas. They last so long, they start blossoming right about this time and they continue into the fall and slowly change color into these really blushy pinks and just add splendor to the garden. So a little further up the step, we continue on our journey through the yard and get to enjoy the sound of water from this lovely feature, our water wall, that my husband created and I enjoy so much. We continue on. Things get a little bit more lush as we continue. We have these beautiful plants such as this Ligularia that I just find totally outstanding. It isn't quite in blossom yet, but when it does, we just get this profusion of yellow that I love. And the leaf is just so unique. It is one of my husband's favorites and I've learned to really love it as well. So we're in the narrowest part of our garden, sandwiched between the two houses, and I think my husband has also made some magic happen here for me. He's espaliered this nice little Mac apple that climbs along the fence and produces these lovely little apples to enjoy, and they're really easy for people just to kind of walk along, pick an apple and eat. And then on the other side we have these beautiful kiwi vines that I'm hoping are going to continue to cover all of my siding. And actually they do grow little miniature kiwis that are quite enjoyable to eat. You just pop them in your mouth like a grape and the skin disappears and you have this lovely little taste of kiwi. So this little narrow spot fills me with a lot of joy. So we have made it into the backyard, and this little circle patio here is my little ode to my farm background and a little touch of hippie that exists here as well. Just with the whole COVID thing, I wanted to plant some sunflowers this year because they're a sign of happiness and joy. They turn their heads towards the light and they make me happy. So we have a lot of things that we sort of collected and found and just made pretty by adding some flowers. This container here is just an old galvanized bucket, and we put some geraniums and some salvia and a nice big sunflower, and I'm really looking forward to enjoying these sunflowers in the fall, and I'm having a competition with my neighbor to see who can get the biggest flower. It's going to be me. So here we are in the backyard, and in this small space we've managed to fit a whole lot of things, and I think that's because we've arranged it around this main circle of grass. We call this main circle the arena because this is where the Nerf gun wars happen, and the bonfire pit we move in here, and the wrestling. So when I'm enjoying my wine up on the deck, I boot people down here. So I have lost a lot of little heads of hydrangeas and daylilies to kids jumping off the deck, the biggest kid being Rob, but it's a really enjoyable space. Again, some of my favorite things are again the water features. The robins and the birds come and they have a bath in here and they just enjoy it. You always hear birds and you always get to watch them fly in, and so that's just a really interesting part of this yard too, is just bringing nature into our suburban space. So there are a few things that look really tropical that you wouldn't think necessarily would flourish here in Alberta, but they thrive and they just give that nice little escape feel to your garden. And one of those things is this cutleaf sumac. I believe we just planted this about a year ago and it's just flourishing, I think due to our nice wet weather that we've been having. But I love it. I love the tropical leaf. And I also love this smokebush. I always, you know, it's nice to have an accent color It just punches in your garden, and this smokebush is flourishing as well. So moving along through the circle, we have some nice little fruiting trees, some Evans cherries. My mom makes a really beautiful tart Evans cherry juice that I love, so I'm hoping to get a profuse amount of cherries so I can put her to work as a senior citizen. That's the way I roll. We have some beautiful cedars. I've got a nice lime green clematis, an Alpine clematis, and it does really well in the shade. I find the Alpines do really, really well in the shade, just to give me some more vertical and interest in along here. I like my shots of lime green. Hostas, you can't go wrong with hostas. The Patriot Hosta is tried and true. Again, with that little bit of white on the edge, it just shows up in the evening and is quite lovely. The Ligularias, again, this is a different variety of Ligularia. These were just planted last year. We raised this bed up a little bit because the large maple takes a lot of moisture out of the soil. So we did find in order to get some sort of height and interest going, we had to create a raised bed in the back. And I think it's turning out really lush and lovely as we continue through. Got again that dot of purple in with the Heucheras. And that's nice. Lamium is a really sort of traditional plant, but it is tried and true, and it glows at night as well. It's just a nice silvery foliage, acts as a white, and it just pops in the evening and just gives a little bit added contrast. Again, we just repeated the pattern to create some, some symmetry in this corner. This is a very symmetrical corner with the hostas kind of working its way into the point of the maple. This is a mock orange. Because it's so deep in shade, we haven't had a lot of blossom in the past couple years, but when they do blossom, it is outstanding. Like, it smells so delicious, just wonderful. Again, some Ligularias and some Heucheras. Again, the kiwi vine, and these do produce fruit, and they are in total shade over here. And I love the way they climb these older structures and this willow wreath mirror that we've created over here. Which brings us to the Buckeye, which is one of my favorite trees. I love this tree. He's beautiful. The leaf is beautiful. He's getting quite big. It's a smaller tree, but he's just fantastic. The bark is just a really interesting tree. And nestled behind all of these beautiful plants is my son's favorite spot. It's his little shed bed is what we call it. And he hangs out here all the time. It's heated in the winter, so he can look out and enjoy the garden even in the winter time, because we've got so many evergreens in here. He always has his own little space. And then again, the arena, we often build an igloo in here. Does not include me. So that would be husband and son build igloo, and I boot them out here to enjoy it. So this is where we're going to finish off the tour. It's up on the deck, again enjoying some more water. And one of my other favorite trees, the mountain ash tree. I love this tree. Also, again, the robins come bopping along and they rinse their little tails off and dunk in the water feature. And I love that. And I'm only just a short distance away from enjoying that. Some of my little favorite pots, I sometimes get accused of being a bit of granny in my tastes, and I feel like that's just fine. And I love this Salvia and this Marigold, and then again this nice chartreuse, Sedum, and another touch of this chartreuse and orange Geranium. It's a Vancouver Centennial. I love it. So I can tell by the time on my bracelet that it's fizzy drink time. So I'm going to kick you all out of my garden. Thank you for coming to the tour, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you all the best in your gardening. I'm Mother Nature, everyone.
You're really close, yeah.
Okay.
You're almost there.
Okay. I thought it would be so much easier. Okay, here we go.